Everyone spends a lot of time waiting for the right moment.
Sometimes you might feel like you are standing on the edge of a great change.
But you cannot move your feet.
You tell yourself that you need to learn one more skill before you start.
You think you need to save a little more money before you feel safe. You believe you need to predict every problem before you begin your journey. This feeling is very common. It is the feeling of wanting to be perfectly ready before you live your life. But this desire for safety can actually become a prison. When we try to control the future, we lose our power to act in the present. We think we are being smart, but really we are just being afraid. Today, I want to tell you a story about a man who wanted to go on a journey.
It is a story about the weight we carry when we try to solve problems that have not happened yet. This story is important because it shows us why waiting for perfect means waiting forever. Listen closely, because in this story, you might see the reason why you have been stuck in the same place for so long. There was once a young man named Alim who lived in a small, quiet valley. The valley was safe, but it was surrounded by high gray mountains. Alim dreamed of seeing what was on the other side of those mountains. He had heard stories of a golden city where people were free and happy, and he wanted to go there more than anything else.
However, Aeon was a very careful man. He did not like to make mistakes. He believed that a smart person prepares for everything. He told his neighbors that he would leave the valley as soon as he was fully ready. One morning, Aeon bought a large, strong backpack. He placed it on his table and opened his notebook. He began to write a list of all the dangers he might face on the mountain. First, he thought about the cold. The mountaintops were covered in snow, so Leon packed a thick, heavy fur coat. It filled the bottom of the bag. He nodded to himself. Now he would not freeze. Next, he thought about hunger. The journey might take many weeks. What if he could not find food? He went to the market and bought 10 pounds of dried meat and 5 bags of heavy grain. He packed these into the bag on top of the coat. The bag was now half full. Then Ali worried about the rain. Wet clothes could make him sick. He found a large waterproof tent made of thick canvas. He folded it carefully, but it was very bulky. He pushed it into the bag with force. The bag was now almost full, but his mind did not stop working. He thought about wild animals. He needed a weapon to defend himself. He packed a heavy iron sword. He thought about falling off a cliff. He packed a long coil of thick rope. He thought about getting lost in the dark. He packed a large lantern and 6 bottles of oil. Finally, the bag was packed. It was huge. It towered above his head. Alien felt proud. He had thought of everything. He was ready for the cold, the hunger, the rain, the beasts, and the dark. He was safe. Early the next morning, the sun rose over the valley. Alien ate a good breakfast. He walked to the table and put his arms through the straps of the backpack. He took a deep breath and tried to stand up. He pushed with his legs. His face turned red. The veins in his neck stood out, but he could not straighten his back. The bag was too heavy. It pulled him down toward the floor. He tried again, grunting with effort, but he could only take one small, wobbly step before he had to lean against the wall to catch his breath. He was crushed under the weight of his own safety. Elian sat down on a chair, sweating. He did not understand. He needed all these things. If he took out the coat, he might freeze. If he took out the food, he might starve. If he took out the sword, a wolf might eat him. Everything was necessary. Days turned into weeks. Every morning, he tried to lift the bag. Every morning, it was too heavy. He stayed in his house, looking at the mountains through the window. He was ready to go, but he could not move. One afternoon, an old man walked past Alien's open door. The old man had gray hair and a deeply lined face, but his eyes were bright and clear. He carried nothing but a small wooden stick and a tiny satchel over one shoulder. He was whistling a happy tune. Alien saw that the old man was walking toward the mountain path.
He called out to him. "Wait!" Alien shouted, "Where are you going?" The old man stopped and smiled. "I am going to the Golden City," he said simply. "I hear the view is beautiful this time of year."
The old man pointed to the heavy iron sword. "So today, you are carrying 5 pounds of iron for a wolf that is not here," the old man said. "You are spending your energy fighting an enemy that does not exist yet. This sword makes you tired before you even start walking. Leave it." Alien hesitated, but he took out the sword.
The old man pointed to the heavy tent. "So you are carrying a house on your back today because of a cloud that might appear next week. The storm is only in your mind, but the weight of the tent is real on your shoulders. Leave it." Slowly, Alien pulled out the heavy tent.
The old man pointed to the 5 bags of grain. "You carry enough food for a month, but you only need energy for today. By carrying the weight of next month's hunger, you are too heavy to walk to today's dinner. Take 1 small loaf of bread." Alien removed the heavy sacks of grain. Now the bag was almost empty. It held only a bottle of water, a loaf of bread, and a thin blanket. Helen looked at the open door. He looked at the mountain. For the first time, he did not calculate the risks. He stepped out of the door.
He took one step and another. He did not collapse. He walked beside the old man, and together they left the valley. The journey was long. Sometimes it rained and he got wet. Sometimes he was hungry and he had to search for berries. But he handled each problem as it came. Eventually, he stood in the Golden City, light and free. This story is a mirror for our lives. We all have a goal. Maybe you want to start a new business. Maybe you want to find a partner. Or maybe you want to move to a new city. But we don't move. We sit and we pack our mental backpacks. We fill our minds with what-ifs. The lesson here is simple but profound. You cannot solve a problem that hasn't happened yet. Make your backpack light. Carry only what you need for the next 24 hours. If you do this, you will stop overthinking and start living. You will realize that the scariest monsters were never on the mountain. They were only in your bag. If this story made you feel lighter, click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to travel to the Golden City with us. Thank you for listening to this story. I hope it helps you put down a heavy burden today.